Hello, gang. Hey, I want to apologize if I'm not as energetic as I usually am in the videos. Not that I'm not like doing cartwheels or anything, but my job is pulling me at both ends pretty hard, and I am tired. But I felt like I was doing the service if we didn't talk about Ghostbusters Day and everything. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. It shouldn't be a long video, but first off, I really need one of these to wash down my Tuesday. So cheers, or as us Polacks say, nostrovia. Good and screaming cold, good and screaming cold. So uh, my son and I went up to Ghostbusters Day, went up Friday. We stayed at the Holland Hotel. And I'm going to tell you, like, if you have the opportunity to go, number one, the Buffalo Ghostbusters hook you up with a cheap hotel room. Like I think it's less than half what they normally charge. And so my son and I went up for Friday and Saturday night. And my son's a casual fan. And I think he kind of did this because of Father's Day being around the corner. My son's grown. And by grown, 20s. Um, he's a casual fan, but he was hungry. He wanted to get food, so he was going to get food. So the first night we were there, we're just kind of like hanging out. Saw some great like people like Shannon Obendorf. She was there. I saw her. Later on, I met some great people too. But as he was walking out to get food, and bad news. I know this is silly, especially since I'm 50. I'm still a cigarette smoker. I quit for like 8 years, but picked it back up in the pandemic. I apologize. It's awful. Don't do it. It's the worst thing ever, kids. And it puts its hooks in you. But I went out to have a cigarette while he was going to go walk to get food. And bam, 359 millimeters come in. Three of them. Ecto 1 NJ, Ecto Manhattan, and Ecto Oklahoma, who it's owned by a dude. His name's Raul. What a fantastic dude, and I'll try to get into that a little later. Maybe this will be longer than I thought it would be, but we'll see. Then we end up going to Ghostbusters Day the next. Well, anyway, we ended up hanging out that night. Friday, we ended up hanging out that night. Ended up meeting this great guy Derek from Buffalo Ghostbusters, kind of because we needed a lay of the land. And it turns out that some stuff got a little wonky. We weren't allowed in the street. They were trying to do some other stuff, and that got popped. I don't want to go into the nitty gritty because I don't know how much of it's like proprietary to their organization. But it was a little congested when we got there next morning. Anyway, was talking to this dude, Derek. Derek was an awesome guy. Don't want to give his last name. End up shooting the shit with him. And Shannon came up and we hung out for a little bit. Then we went to bed, got up, went to Ghostbusters Day, drove there from the Holland Hotel. It's only like 16 minutes to get there. But I drove around for at least 40 minutes trying to find a parking spot, to the point where I was getting so frustrated. And, my son, who's, a Gen Zer, was probably not having the best time with me driving around in circles. But we end up finding a spot fucking across the street from the firehouse and like a half block down. Like we can see the firehouse from our parking spot. So we went, hung out with a bunch of people. Met some of my squad from the Philly Ghostbusters, not all of them. I was pretty sad to see that. But at that point, like, we kind of had to pee. My son was hungry, so we kind of like moseyed around for about an hour. And we went across the street to get something to eat and take a leak. And at that point was when Jason and Gil were doing the announcement for this, which we'll talk about in a second. So while we're over there, as soon as I walk in, I see Nerd Affiliated. I see Steve from Nerd Affiliated. I look at him and I point at him. He points at me. We went at each other. I thought we were going to hug. I would have liked to hug, man. But we shook hands. It was a firm handshake. We shared an admiration for each other, I think. And then, I sat down and ate. He ended up coming back to us, gave us a bunch of stickers, a bunch of these killer trading cards. A ton. Yeah, he was very, very, very generous with a bunch of merch from his channel. Love it, dude. Thank you so much. Luckily, I had a Philly Ghostbuster patch in my pocket. Was able to kind of reciprocate, but not compared to all the stickers and cards that he gave me. Then we went back. Things were starting to die down a little bit, and the merch tent was dying down. So I guess we'll just go through the merch real quick that they were offering. I saved one of the. I like this. They gave you kind of like a menu. So what they had was the GB Day 2026 patch. That was 10 bones. They had a 26 2-inch challenge coin. That was 20 bones. They had mystery medallions, which I will show you in a second. And you could buy one for 15 or two for 25. And they had different pictures on them. And I'll kind of explain the best I can what happened with that. They had Ghostbusters Day, the album, which had original tracks by the Leslie Brothers and Man Splatter. I didn't see that. It was only 10 bones. I love music. I love supporting, artists. I should have bought that. I did not. And it said that Joe Cirillo and Leslie Brothers autographs. So Leslie Brothers were not there, again, due to some kind of logistical stuff. But Joe Cirillo was there. And you could get his autograph as well. So going through that, here's the patch. This is the patch. I picked that up. It's pretty cool. It's kind of a hybrid of the real Ghostbusters and the real Hook and Ladder 8. Oh, sugar. Just dropped it. This is the challenge coin. Kind of has RGB. It's hard to see. RGB looking at a movie theater. Looks to be to me. They're watching the original Ghostbusters. And this is reflective of what the patch is, kind of hybrid firehouse. These are the medallions. So that's the front. And then the back, that has a RGB PKE meter. I also have ones that have same on the other side that says I'm a Ghostbuster, but here's a trap. And then this is the one I wanted, which was the Proton Pack. And I bought the two for 25. And someone later on in the day on Saturday, on actual Ghostbusters, well, technically I think the 8th was Ghostbusters Day, but on Saturday, someone really wanted one that Ben had, which was a slime blower, and they traded us two to get those. That's why I have 3 instead of 2. Also, Shan gave me Windy City patch. We got a Sin City patch. We have this guy, Matt, who had this awesome looking patch, which kind of looks like the dude from man, why can't I think of it? Stop motion. It's been a long day. Jack Skellington, you know what I'm talking about, but it kind of looks like him. Here is the package. I saved one of these very condom-like packages that had the medallions in them. So they were a mystery. You didn't know what you were getting. And that's that as far as the merch table goes, as far as what they had there, with the exception of this. So they did an announcement, which we missed because we were grubbing real fast and trying to, take a leak. They made the announcement for Ghostbusters Night Shift, and they had signed posters there. These were spendy, and dude, it was so hot. It was so fucking hot in New York, especially in a onesie with a Proton Pack on. It was very, very hot. And a middle-aged man, it was a tough road to hoe. But this has Gil Keenan's, Jason Reitman's, and the 2 showrunners, their names escape me right now, autographed. This was spendy. I wasn't going to buy it there because I knew I would ruin it. and I'd be very upset. But luckily, when I got back to the hotel that night, ended up meeting with someone from Buffalo Ghostbusters. They had one still, and they were able to give it to me, and I was able to safely get it home. So on the back of that, I put pencil neck. I put Joe Cirillo's autograph. Got his. He is 96 years old. And he was in probably 90 some odd degree heat under a tent outside the firehouse. We couldn't get in the firehouse for some reason. And in his full police uniform. I didn't get my picture taken with him. My son and I at that point weren't next to each other. Wonderful dude. I said, Mr. Cirillo, I'd love to have this picture signed. He goes, hey, what's your name? And I go, my name is Frank. He goes, Frank? Joe. And we shook hands, and he signed it, and it was lovely. And the thing was, is that the weird thing was, is I'm like, man, this guy's 96, and he's here supporting the fandom, you know what I mean, like doing his thing. But it was a cash donation, you know, so you could pay whatever you want and get his autograph. So I had a $20 bill on me, and I put that up, and they were like, you want to change? So I was like, no. I was like, I should have put a 50 down, you know. But anyway, it was awesome to meet that man, what a gentleman, and shake his hand, and fucking together, way more together than I will be 20 years from now. I can tell you that. Well, I'm probably gonna be yapping on this channel about something, but I loved it. I love meeting the people. I love meeting. You know, there was this dude named Sean. There was, you know, two Derricks. There were the Holland Hotel, and I talked to this to one of the heads of the Buffalo Ghostbusters. The Holland Hotel is the most fun thing. The ectos all come through there. People come and hang out. And then also Adam Murray showed up, and he's the guy at the end of Frozen Empire. And what a cool fucking dude. Like, we just hung out, and you know, we had a storm come in. We went inside, and we brought all the coolers and the beers and stuff inside. And then the storm subsided, and we all went back outside. It was so cool, dude. Like, this is the second year I was there for the 40th. I missed last year. Here for the 42nd. And my son's going to graduate college next year, which I don't know if I'll be able to go. But if I'm able to go, I will go. It is so much fun. The camaraderie, the ease of talking to people who have these common interests, the eccentricity, the understanding of people's, like, you know, reason for loving this is marvelous. We are so lucky to be part of this kind of community. I really think that, you know, I think that if people really knew how great this community was, the jealousy would be rampant. How lovely the people are, how accepting the people are, how ingenuitive and crafty the people are amazing. So again, I apologize. I'm kind of pooped. I need to go to bed, but I kind of wanted to give you a rundown of what happened in Ghostbusters Day. I'm forgetting 1,000 things. It was wonderful. It was wonderful running into so many people and shaking hands and talking shop. Dude, at our spot, there was a fucking kid. I shouldn't cuss when I'm talking about this, but there was a kid in a GB2 jumpsuit. I was like, man, nothing makes both my kid and I were like, that's the reason, man. You know, getting the kids interested. And this kid's in a GB2 jumpsuit. And I asked him, I was like, why GB2? He's like, it's my favorite movie. It's the best movie in the world, he said. Mr. Frank. That's what he said. Didn't say the Mr. Frank part. He said weirdo or stranger, but his dad was there. It was fine. But boy, it was amazing. It went way too fast. If you have the opportunity, go to the Holland Hotel, and don't be afraid to talk to people. Okay, you're going to see people with GB shirts and stuff like that. Hey, what's going on? What chapter are you from? Hey, I would go up to people and say, hey man, I'm Frank from Philly. Are you from blank? Where are you from? And I have anxiety and depression, all that kind of shit. And I understand that stuff seems weird, but we're all weirdos, okay? If we're doing this stuff and we're dressing up and we're building this shit, and we have the audacity to say, hey, listen, also, we're going to do charity work for this. Yeah, man, we have to have guts, for it. So again, this video is probably way too long, and I'm going on and on and on, but I'm super tired, so please forgive me. I love you all. I'm probably missing stuff, and I will probably talk about that later, but we're a goddamn lucky community. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.